It's the first thing you think about when you wake up. It's the last thing you think about before you go to sleep. And every hour in between. It's whispering. That's not desire, that's obsession. And your brain is doing that shit on purpose. You're sitting at home, it whispers. You're at work, it creeps in. You're driving in your car, it's there. You're in the middle of a conversation with someone you love maybe, perhaps your boss, and in the back of your head, it's there, whispering in the background. I know. That's the substance, that's the drug, that's the compulsive behavior. That hit, that rush, that heaven in the cup feeling. You're not even craving the high anymore. You're craving the relief. And the 3 seconds where your brain shuts the fuck up and you don't have to feel whatever you've been carrying around all day, all week, or all month for that matter. I know the feeling. Trust me. You think about it all the time. You tell yourself no. You white knuckle through it for 10 minutes and then you think you're good. And then guess what? It comes back. It comes back more louder, more convincing. It's telling you just once. Just hit it once. You deserve it. Nobody has to know. You've been good all week. You've been straight. You've earned it. You ain't hit it all week. Reward yourself. And every time you push it away, it comes back. It comes back stronger. Like you're playing tug of war with someone who never gets fucking tired. You're playing tug of war with a demon is what you're doing. You start to think there's something fundamentally wrong with you. I did. You think that normal people don't think like this. You think I must be broken in a way that can't be fixed. That's the addiction talking. You're not broken, dude. Your brain has been rewired, and I'll tell you exactly how it happened. Addiction is not a willpower problem. It's a brain problem. And the obsessive thinking you're experiencing when you're craving, when you're fiending for that hit, that's not a character flaw. That's your brain. That's neurology. Your brain has a reward system. Everyone knows this. It's designed to repeat the things that keep you alive, like eating, drinking water, breathing, connecting with the people you love. When you do something that your brain thinks is good for survival, it releases a chemical. And everyone knows the chemical. It's called dopamine. It's all over fucking social media. But here's what most people get wrong about dopamine. Dopamine is not the pleasure chemical like they say in all the fucking YouTube videos. Dopamine is the craving chemical. It's the wanting chemical. It's the thing that says, whoa, dude, that was the best fucking thing you've ever done. Go do that again. And go get more of that so you can do it again. When you eat a good meal or listen to music or something, a small amount of dopamine is released, a normal amount, proportional to what the brain is used to. But when you use a drug or engage in a compulsive behavior, such as scrolling or pills or other drugs, your brain gets flooded with dopamine levels that those natural experiences they come nowhere near to that. We're talking 10 to 20 times the normal amount, sometimes more depending on the drug of your choice. When your brain experiences that kind of flood of dopamine, it does something terrifying. It remembers what just happened. It says, that is the most important thing you've ever done. Whatever led to that feeling, prioritize it. Seek it out again. Go buy more of it. Go do it again. And that's not you being weak. That's your survival system being hijacked. But it gets worse because your brain doesn't just remember it, it adapts to it. Your brain is always trying to maintain balance. It's called homeostasis. When you keep flooding it with dopamine, it says, whoa, like, this is too much stimulation we got going on here. I need to turn the volume down. So it does two things when it does that. First, it removes the dopamine receptors. It kills them off. That's the thing that catches the dopamine. And it reduces the amount of dopamine that's produced naturally. It turns the faucet down to a slow drip. This is what is referred to as tolerance. You need more of the drug or the compulsive behavior to feel the same effect because your brain has literally changed its hardware. And here's the cruel part, and the part that nobody talks about. That down regulation, the turning down the faucet to a drip, that doesn't just affect your response to that drug, substance, or compulsive behavior. It now affects everything. It affects a response to everything in your life. The music that you used to like is gone. It's flat. Food you used to think was good, nothing. Accomplishments, you don't feel good at all. Empty. The time with the people you care about, flatline. Nothing. You're there, but you're not there. Your baseline homeostasis point, what used to be normal, now feels like depression. And the only thing that can cut through that feeling is the drug that put you there in the first place. That is the only thing powerful enough to activate the system that's been stripped down to the bare minimum. And this is the cruel thing this is the cruel game that drugs and compulsive behaviors do to your brain. This is why you can't just stop thinking about it. Your brain has physically been restructured to believe that the substance, the drugs, the compulsive behavior, that it's the only source of relief in your entire life. Not because that's true, but because it burned out your ability to feel anything else. Now let me tell you the part that finally made sense about my own addiction. Your brain has a hierarchy of priorities. At the top of that hierarchy is, survival things like air, water, food, safety. These things, the brain knows it needs to be priority because it keeps you alive. Well, the substance, the addiction, the drug, it inserts itself into the hierarchy. Not at the bottom, not in the middle, but at the top, right alongside breathing and the rest of your survival needs. This is called incentive salience. Your brain has tagged the substance as essential to survival. It has tagged the drug, the compulsive behavior, essential to survival. And once that happens, it's incredibly difficult to reverse it. That's why addicts will sacrifice everything for the drug. They'll sacrifice relationships, jobs, health, freedom for the drug. I've been there. From the outside in, that looks like fucking insanity. From the inside, though, it feels like survival. Your brain is literally screaming at you that you need the drug to stay alive, the same way that you need food or oxygen to stay alive. The brain is screaming at you the same fucking thing. And here's one more thing. The prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that is responsible for decision making or logically thinking, long-term thinking. That's the part of the brain that's supposed to say, it's supposed to say, I know I want this, but this is a bad idea. I shouldn't do this. This is drugs. This will fuck me up. That part of your brain, it gets weakened. It gets understimulated. So the one piece of your brain that would pump the brakes at you being able to quit drugs and the compulsive behavior, is now not operating correctly. The machinery that would tell you to exercise willpower has been compromised by the same thing that you're trying to resist. It's an evil loop. That's the evil thing that drugs do. I had a guy in the comments of another one of my videos tell me, if you want to change, you just make a decision to change. That's it. And the people that don't want to change, they just don't want to change. Like, I started to respond, but I didn't. Because trying to tell him what addiction is like trying to talk to a fucking tree. That is how the population think about addiction, or addicts, or people in active addiction. They don't understand that the brain has physically been restructured and is screaming at the person to get more of the drug so they can stay alive. Their thinking has changed. Lost my train of thought, guys. Okay. Oh yeah. I need to say this because some of you watching right now think this don't apply to you. Oh, you're sorely mistaken. You've never touched a drug, right? You don't drink. You don't smoke. But you can't stop scrolling your phone for 6 hours a day. You can't stop watching porn, even though it's destroying your relationship with your old lady. You can't stop eating when you're not hungry, right? You can't stop gambling. You can't stop shopping. You can't stop buying shit you don't need. You can't stop jumping into toxic relationship after toxic relationship, one right after the other with no break in between. That mechanism is exactly the same behavioral addictions that hijack the same reward circuitry as the substance and drugs did. These compulsive behaviors that I just listed off and drug addiction are the same fucking thing under the hood. I didn't know that. Your brain doesn't care whether the dopamine comes from a needle, a pill, or a notification from your phone. A flood of dopamine is a flood of dopamine. It's all the same to the brain. That's definitely something many people don't know. I bet you. The population that I just said, the guy in my comments, he didn't know that shit. Listen, social media was literally engineered by teams of psychologists and scientists to exploit your dopamine system. The same way dudes in a trailer park are making meth. The same way the dope man is in the kitchen cooking pies. It's the same fucking tactic that they're using. Think about that. It's to get people hooked to scrolling, get people hooked to dope. The same thing. Every like, every notification, every scroll, every hit of dopamine is delivered on an unpredictable schedule. That unpredictability, that's the thing, that's the mechanism that makes slot machines addictive. Your brain is more activated by random rewards than by guaranteed ones. So if you're sitting there thinking, I'm not an addict, I don't drink, but you can't put your phone down, or you can't stop a compulsive behavior that's, hurting you. You can't break a pattern that is destructive. Your brain is running the same fucking program as an addict. The substance might be different, but the wiring in your brain is the same. It's identical. There's one more piece you need to understand too, because this is why it feels like the obsession comes out of nowhere. Every time you've used or you've engaged in a compulsive behavior in a specific context, your brain created an association with that drug or behavior. The substance got linked to the environment, to the emotions you were experiencing at that exact moment, the people that you saw, the smell, that time of day, hell, even the music that was playing. And over time, those associations become AKA triggers. That's what we call triggers. You walk past a certain street or an alley and suddenly you're craving. You feel stressed at work or after or after an argument with someone, you start craving. Your hand is reaching for the thing before you even made a conscious decision to take it. You hear a certain song and it hits you like a freight train. These are conditioned responses by the brain. And here's what makes the triggers dangerous. They're fucking automatic. They happen below consciousness awareness. You don't decide to crave. The craving arrives, uninvited, triggered by something your conscious mind might not even know is happening. This is why you feel fucking ambushed when a craving comes out of nowhere, because you are being ambushed by your own fucking brain. It learned patterns. It stored them away, and now it fires them off at your ass without your permission. And that's not fucking weakness. That's fucking neurology, conditioning. Your brain conditioning, and your brain is broken. But this can be reversed. But the first step is you got to know that it's fucking happening in the first place. You got to know, you got to think. You can't bargain with you. When you're bargaining with yourself, maybe just this once, or I can quit anytime I want. Everyone knows that one, right? Maybe this time won't be so bad. Maybe I won't spend all my fucking money on it, and I won't have to call the dude back begging for a front. I know that one real well. Anyway, sorry. We've all felt tired of fighting the same fucking battle in our head over and over again, day after day, until the fighting itself becomes more painful than giving in. We've all felt the shame of losing that fight, of doing the thing we swore we would never do again. Like every time I used to say, this is the last time. And every time I believed it. And then we hate ourselves for it. And then we numb the self-hatred with the exact thing that caused it. And then we we feel shame, we self-hate, we escape, we numb it again. It's like a fucking loop. That's a neurological trap. And millions of people are out there right now caught in it. I used to be caught in it, I know. I've lived it for years. I lived in that loop for years. And I'm not speaking from a textbook. I've overdosed. I've been the person who swore on everything that I loved that I was done. And I meant it. And was using the very next fucking day. I know what it's like to have that obsession take over your brain every waking moment. To feel like a hostage in your own fucking mind. To know exactly what you should do and be completely unable to do it. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like when people look down on you, like you're choosing to be an addict. Like if you wanted to quit bad enough, you just fucking stopped. Like your life is a mess because you're too weak to fix it. I spent years believing that was true, that something was wrong with me. And I know a lot of people out there feel like that. That something fundamentally wrong with your character. It isn't your character. It's your fucking brain. The fucking thing that the CEO. And once you understand that, you can fucking start to try to change that. Look, I've been laying in the hospital bed with nurses and fucking cops standing over my ass while it felt like the fucking insides of my body were being torn from me. That I wouldn't wish that torment on anyone. I've been there, and that's why I fucking may get up and fight back. To help people who are in that fight right now, that any way I can. If the brain has been hijacked, if the wiring has been changed, if the conditioning is firing automatically, what's the move? What's the play? Tell me what to do. First, stop blaming yourself. The guilt and shame, you got to stop. The obsessive thinking is not proof that you're weak. It's proof that your brain was rewired by something more powerful than fucking willpower. Shame will not fix it. Shame is actually the fuel that keeps the loop running in the first fucking place. Understanding that is the first step to breaking it. And I'll be dropping a video about guilt and shame probably next week. So subscribe for that. Second, your brain can be rewired. It's called neuroplasticity. It's the brain's ability to make new connections, new neural pathways. It works in both directions. The same brain that got wired into addiction can be wired out of addiction. Dopamine receptors can grow back. Remember I said that they die off. Your natural reward system can come back online to homeostasis. The prefrontal cortex can strengthen back up. It takes a long time though. I think that's the hardest part. It could take years for that to happen. And the third part, this is the one that saved my life actually, and it's kept me clean. You can't just remove the thing without, and not put purpose in its place. Purpose, or removing the addiction without a purpose in its place, is like being in a prison. That's prison. You're sober, you're stable, you're clean, but your fucking life is empty because you didn't replace the thing. And being clean and sober with no purpose, you're just inviting the fucking thing you fought to get rid of. You're inviting it back in. You have to put something in your life that it doesn't leave room for the old thing to come back in, for the addiction to come back in. Something that gives you identity beyond the addiction. I've got this phrase. I coined it. So check it out. If you can do both, you will do both. If you can replace your addiction with something like I'm suggesting you do, but you can still use and maintain the new thing, it's not strong enough. Because if you could do both, you will do both. I've been sober and clean for 9 years, and now I'm building something that will outlive me, hopefully. So that's what's keeping me clean. And that voice in your head, the one that won't shut up, the one that follows you from room to room, follows you in every conversation, it's playing in the background in every quiet moment. That's not you. It's a pattern, a neurological loop that was built by something that hijacked your fucking reward system in your fucking brain. I know it feels permanent. It's not. I know it feels like it's the truth, like you know nothing else. It's not. You can be 100% free of it, but you can't think there's no way out. You can't white knuckle your way through the cravings and think you're going to willpower addiction. Yeah, that's not going to work. You have to replace it. You need to replace it with something big and something that outlasts it. In my opinion, that obsession has to be loud. You're not hopeless. You're not too far gone. I thought I was. Your brain is wired. Your brain has been rewired. If you felt something watching this, comment, subscribe, like. If this is the first time someone explained to you what was happening in your brain, then send this out, subscribe. I'm putting out videos like this every week. Videos on addiction, depression, trauma. You know, the shit the fancy influencers won't talk about. No lectures, no judgment. I mean, I have no right to judge anybody. Believe me. Just the truth from someone who's been exactly where you are. If you've got an addiction, share it with me. I'll read it. I read every comment. I plan on to anyway. If you know someone who's trapped in that loop right now, send them this video. Because understanding what's happening is the first step to breaking free from it. So, if you guys are going to use tonight, of course I don't want you to use. I want you to get clean. But if you're going to use tonight, please don't do it alone. And if you're going to drink, please don't drive. This is Richard Rich. This is Get Up and Fight Back. I'll check you out on the next one. Peace.